Hey everyone, welcome back to Sports Tea. I'm really excited for tonight's show. I know that I'm behind. I'm a little bit sick, guys. But we're going to talk about the Cavs and the new king in town, Donovan Mitchell. Since, LeBron James depleted the team in 2018, it's nice to see the Cavaliers back in contention, right? We'll also discuss Adam Silver, where he stands in the GOAT debate between LeBron and Jordan. We will also discuss James Harden. He passed Ray Allen for the most three-pointers made, second of all time, right, behind Steph Curry. So amazing accomplishment for him. And lastly, we'll discuss the NBA ratings decline. And this has been a topic across the sports world lately. Before we do that, I do want to shout out the members of Sports Tea. So I really appreciate you guys. The biggest shout out is to my dad, Chris. He signed up. He was the first member that I have. So I love you, Dad. Thank you so much. Right Hand Cam and It's Not That Serious. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. And if everyone can do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe, that would be awesome. And it will help the channel to keep growing. So thank you so much. Okay, guys, let's get started with the Cavaliers. The Cavs, they beat some really good teams to start the season. So they're having a really hot start, 15-0, obviously. They are they're like the fourth team, right, in NBA history to do this. So great job. Shout out to the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell. Spida, he's averaging 25 points a game and he's shooting 42% from the 3-point line. So amazing work. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs. People, we look at the Cavs and we see that they have the best record in the league, and teams that have gone 15-0 to start the season historically have gone to the finals in the past. I mean, that's been the history of this kind of thing. The Cavaliers, they've not been able to be an actual contender, a true contender, since LeBron left in 2018. And they had to go through a rebuild, right? Like most teams when star players leave, or particularly when LeBron leaves teams. And they were able to draft some players and sort of just like home grow them, right, into a solid team. Evan Mobley, I believe he was drafted in 2021. I think he went third or fourth that year. And then back in 2019, they were able to pick up Darius Garland straight out of the draft with the fifth lottery pick. So both of these players, they come up big for the Cavs. The question is, though, can the Cavs repeat history of teams past that have been 15-0 and get to the finals? Gil's Arena speaks on it, and they had a calm discussion. I'll play it for you guys, and then we'll react to it.
Normally, we would not do this, but got to show some love to the Cavs, who improved to 15-0 on the season with the win last night over the Hornets. Yes, Gil, I was watching. League Pass is your friend, Gil. So the Cavs are the fourth team to start 15-0 and are tied for the second best start to a season in NBA history, trailing only the 2015-16 Warriors, who, of course, started 24-0. The previous three teams in league history to start a season 15-0, which are the 15-16 Warriors, the 93-94 Rockets, and the 48-49 Washington Capitals, all made the NBA Finals.
What happened? You gave the police. So they Googled that shit quick.
They were ready. Pull up. See what happens. We're going to find out. But the previous three teams to start 15-0. Yes, God, I do take this job very seriously. 15-0, all made the NBA Finals. At what point will you believe that this Cavs squad is a legit contender?
If Evan Mobley and Jared Allen could stay on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Health as well.
They, when I watch them play, like Jared Allen just brings something different to that team. And Evan Mobley, he's that it for me right now. Garland and Donovan gonna do what they do, but those two is the key.
Is that it? We got our resident Cleveland fan over there.
Shout out Shug.
Shout out Uncle Shug over there.
The first of the month.
In the middle of the day yesterday, he was like, turn the TV on and watch Cleveland. I was like, brother, I'm playing Call of Duty.
We better go find another TV.
I just killed 2 people in a row. I ain't watching.
Yeah.
He said, well, you got 6 TVs back there. You ain't watching that? No, I'm watching other sports. But now I told him I'm going to go back and watch the games because this is an NBA, right? There's so much talent in the league, and the fact that they are 15-0, they have to be doing something fucking special because Donovan Mitchell is not averaging enough for him to be taking over games, which means everybody is playing well. Everybody is on the same page. So that means they're doing everything as a group to win. So just looking at the stats, just looking from the stats, they are legit. This is not a fluke because this is a team thing. Like they're playing great as a team. Like this is one of those Detroit Pistons. This is the
Hawks.
The Nets when they went to the finals the 2 years in a row as a unit. As a unit, they're like, yo, we're playing great basketball. So we got to tune in now.
I was a little worried though in the beginning because.
So, okay, so they mention health is wealth, right? Eben Mobley and Jarrett Allen. I really like their game, how they play on both ends of the floor, and they have some really nice moves in the low post. I appreciate them. And I love how the Cavs are playing in general. I agree with Gil that when you look at the stats, the Cavs are a well-rounded team and they're legit. But when you actually just watch the game and you analyze what you see, the Cavs are legit. When you take a look at them, they can shoot the 3 very well. And surprise, surprise, they have big men in Jarrett Allen and Eben Mobley that actually play like big men. They don't just hang out on the perimeter. They don't just stand around on defense. They box out for rebounds. Surprise, surprise, right? If you want to beat a healthy Cavaliers team, you've got to get your fundamentals in order and play team basketball. Star ball will not work. Only great teams can beat the Cavs. So I'm going to predict that if the Cavs starters are available tomorrow night against Boston, that they will win that game. What I disagree with Gil on is that Donovan Mitchell is not averaging enough points to take over games. He's averaging 25 points a game, and he dropped 37 points on the Bulls' head the other night to lift the team to a 14-0 win. Are the Bulls a great team? No. But Spida can take over a game, and he can take over a game with this team that he has. Did we not see him drop 70 points last season? He can do it. Is Donovan Mitchell, though, the new king of the Cavs? That's the question. So, yes, we do want to know, can they make it to the finals? I think that's a really good question. Is Donovan Mitchell the new king of the Cavs? I think that's a really good question. And, you know, I'm going to kind of answer both of those questions together. So I'm going to say that Mitchell he's like the new sheriff in town, but LeBron, he will always be the king of the Cavaliers. The only way my opinion changes is if Mitchell leads the team to a title. What I can say is that we've been here before with Donovan Mitchell. He's had the team with the best record before. This isn't anything new. He's had the team that has had the best record in the league before, and they were rated first in offense and first in defense when he played with the Utah Jazz, and they had a good team. They were rolling. I think they eliminated Memphis back in 2021, and they were knocked out by Kawhi and the Clippers in round 2. They were not undefeated like this to start the season, right? But Donovan Mitchell hasn't had a deep playoff run yet. He's consistently been a first or a second round knockout. So I like Spida's game. I wanted him to go to the Knicks. Too bad that got all messed up for him and for them. But I need him to get to the conference finals to face Boston. That's what I want to see. I do think that they have a chance to make the finals, but I don't trust them to get there. I need to see more, and I need to reassess as we approach the playoffs. We know that we can't measure teams by the regular season in today's game. We know that. But it's nice to try to predict, right? LeBron did a lot for Cleveland, and he won a historic title for their franchise. So he means a lot to them and to the organization. No matter how toxic the relationship was, no matter how many times he left, he brought them a title. As manufactured as it was, as orchestrated as it was, that is what it means to win a title in today's league, and he was able to do that for the Cavaliers. So that actually brings me to my next topic. Adam Silver. This man, okay, he was at an event, and some guy, I have no idea who he was. I don't even know where Adam Silver was. This is like I don't know, maybe like a 15-second clip, and I'll get to it. I'll play it for you guys. But Adam Silver, he was asked, who's his GOAT? Okay, he was asked about this, and he was asked, who is your best player of all time? And I want you guys to listen to this. Ticket TV, he calls LeBron James fans jockstrap sniffers. So this is for you guys. If you're watching, shout out to all the LeBron James jockstrap sniffers. This is for you.
Who is your coach? Who is your player of all time? And don't tell LeBron I said.
So he said, don't tell LeBron James. So now I want to preface my reaction. Okay. I want to make sure that I say this very carefully. I can't stand the GOAT debate. Okay. And I think it's disrespectful to all the great players and great teams that play the game, because there are no circumstances that are exactly the same. And the game has been played so differently throughout the history of the 75 years in the sport that I don't agree with the comparisons. Now, with that being said, just because Adam Silver helped LeBron his whole career and manufactured his legacy doesn't mean he actually believes that LeBron is the GOAT. There's no way he believes that. He knows that the league has zero will to compete. He's the one who removed defense from the league completely. He is the one that created a bullshit in-season tournament to pad LeBron's legacy because he knows he's not winning another title. He is the one that allowed for the second round of the draft to be televised and made into a spectacle to manufacture this father-son duo that no one likes or appreciates. Adam Silver knows that LeBron is not even close. He's probably not even a top 10 player of all time. I'm sure he knows that. He's seen way too much basketball to believe that. And so Jeannie Buss, the owner of the iconic Lakers franchise, that team in Los Angeles that LeBron plays for, since 2019 or around there, she said Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. Full stop. Back in 2022, LeBron had already won a title for her, right? He won it in 2020. And so this is 2022, 2 years removed from winning a title. She had already been paying him $40+ million a year to stink it up in the Staples Crypto Center, and in the trailer for the 2K23 version of the game, which they honored Michael Jordan as number 23, not LeBron, because Michael Jordan's the real number 23. He's the original 23, not LeBron. Okay, LeBron will never be able to erase the original 23, no matter how many made up stats and accolades he achieves. But Jeannie Buss says that he's the GOAT as well. So shout out to LeBron James, jockstrap sniffers. This is for you.
Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
I'm going to play it one more time for you guys.
Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Okay. So obviously 10 scoring titles, 3 steals titles, 1 defensive player of the year, 5 MVPs, 6 finals MVPs, an unstoppable mid-range and fadeaway shot, an iconic sneaker and lifestyle brand. That's an incredible resume, right? That's the basketball piece of it, right? There's also a mythical aspect to Jordan being the GOAT. And this mysterious vibe that he gives off, because it was before the social media era where everything was about being exclusive. But I want you guys to listen to the intangible reasons why Jordan is Jerry West's GOAT. So shout out to the LeBron James jockstrap sniffers. This is for you.
Probably my favorite player of all time is Michael Jordan. A lot of other incredible players I know, and frankly, been involved with. He epitomizes what I think is great. Someone who can play both ends of the court. His teams win. In the last quarter, he's going to be there. But more importantly, I love Michael like a brother, okay? I get a chance to spend some time with him, so he never changes, and that's why I like him.
So guys, when I hear Jerry West say, and shout out to Jerry West, RIP, may he rest in peace. I hope he's, just looking down on the NBA and he's not rolling over in his grave. But when Jerry West, when he says that Michael Jordan, he never changes, when I hear that, I think of never switch, never fold. I think of how he dropped Charles Barkley for talking about him as an owner in a negative light. That was his dog, right? And he switched on him. But Jordan couldn't get jiggy with that. He never changed. When he says you can always find him in the fourth quarter, that hit home for me because the fourth quarter is a time to win. It's a time where you close the game. So yes, the other quarters matter, but when the game is on the line, or it's tight, or it's a tight game and you need to create some separation or simply make magic happen, Michael Jordan can do it. He didn't need creative officiating and phantom calls. He was that guy every time. We will never see another Michael Jordan. Although we try to keep searching for him, we anoint people the next MJ every couple of years, and then they can't handle the pressure of that comparison or the weight of having to achieve even a portion of Michael Jordan's resume. But I really want to hear from you guys. Why do you think that Adam Silver picked Michael Jordan over LeBron? I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to read some comments. I'm going to throw the phone line up, and I'm going to take one or two phone calls, and then we're going to move. There isn't a debate. I agree. Oh my gosh, you guys just crack me up in this chat. Honestly, the engagement here is just amazing. Also, I want to shout out to Speedy. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, if you can go ahead and check out Speedy's channel and like, share, and subscribe, that would make me really happy. He's awesome and a really big supporter of Sports Tea. So check out his channel when you guys get a chance, okay? Shout out to Grape Tea News. Go check out that channel, guys. They come through with consistency, and I have to tell you, consistency is key. Just being able to create content every day and be there for your audience is really incredible. So shout out to Grape Tea News. You're awesome, and you're doing a great job out there. Hi, World Breaker. I know you're here to bust my chops. I love it. Manufactured, orchestrated. You mean he was whooping the NBA and came down from a 3-1 lead? Yeah, I mean, just the fact that we have to celebrate someone coming back from something is pretty hilarious to me. So we have to celebrate that you lost 3 times and you came back from that. When you got Draymond Green suspended and, you know, there were some things that happened in that series that, you know, who knows if the Cavs would have actually won. But anyway, nobody cares what them old folks think. Bron is the GOAT. I mean, I guess when you've seen 75 years of basketball, I care about what those people think. I care about what people who have seen practically the totality of the sport in all of its 75 years play. I care about those opinions because they've seen more of it than I have, than you have. And I'm sorry. I mean, LeBron isn't the GOAT to me. He's not better than Steph Curry. He's not better than guys that have played in this current generation of the sport. So he might have accomplished more, but he's not the best player. And, you know, again, those accomplishments are manufactured. So I find that to be problematic in as far as the GOAT case is concerned. Shout out to my moderators and shout out to you, Funky Town, for becoming a member of Sports Tea. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Mark Safe from LeBron getting to chapter 2 in any book. Oh my gosh, you guys kill me. Okay, if Jordan was the GOAT, they wouldn't be on here trying to downplay LeBron's career. Interesting. I don't need to downplay LeBron's career. I just gave him credit, and I even said that he will always be the king of the Cavs. But again, LeBron James fans, it's like you guys only hear what you want to hear. If someone doesn't say that LeBron is the GOAT, then they're downplaying his career. It's just ridiculous. People talk when they are scared. Hi, T-Bert. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Dom?
Man, I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Let me give you a shout out. I know you wasn't feeling good. Thank you so much for coming live and producing the show. For everybody in the stream right now, Dom is not feeling good, but she thought about us, so she still did the show. So it'll really help if everybody hit the like button and subscribe.
Thank you so much, T-Bert. You're awesome. So what do you think about this? Do you think that, so one, I guess, let's go back a little bit. Do you think that the Cavaliers can make it to the finals? And do you think that, you know, Donovan Mitchell is the new king of the Cavs?
Wow. So I have some reservations for the Cavs. I would love to see them go. Like, I love their guard play. I love they actually run in like a 3-guard rotation. I just love they play. They ball out. But my reservations are for Donovan Mitchell. He just has a history of getting hurt late season. If you look at the last 2 or 3 years, he's getting hurt late season. And then he always comes back, but he's never fully healthy. So, of course, like, I mean, that's for any other team in the league. Of course, health is everything. But I like the Cavs. Do I think they can make it to the finals? I think they got a shot because I'm not a believer in Boston. I mean, I believe in Boston, but I don't believe in Tatum. Tatum is not him. So yeah, I think if they're healthy, they can make a serious run. They really can.
I'm with you on that. Tatum is definitely not him, in my opinion. I think that he's a great player, but I don't think that he is the real number one on his team. He's just a little too soft for me, and I don't know. There's just too many things I see about him that, you know, that concern me.
Right. Now,
Why do you
the
think?
thing.
Yep, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to ask you, why do you think that Adam Silver picked Michael Jordan over LeBron as his GOAT and greatest of all time?
Because it's obvious he's telling the truth, and he's not in a cult, and he's not employed by Clutch Sports. I mean, it's obvious. Like the whole, and I'm sitting there reading the chat and all that. They just got me. What time is it? It's almost 5 a.m. here, and they got my blood boiling. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you.
I think somebody in here is going to get blocked. I don't know.
All right, I'll get to it as soon as I get off the line with you.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it. Don't worry.
Okay, but the LeBron fans, like, I just don't understand you guys. What are you seeing that 90% of the world isn't seeing? This GOAT debate is phony. It's not real. It's manufactured, and they have said it so much with the comparison over the last 5 years on ESPN. I mean, it's a typical way to brainwash people. If you constantly see something long enough and plenty of times, people will believe it. LeBron is not even in my top 10. Like, I just don't see it. But anyway, yeah, MJ's clearly the GOAT. It's not even close. Not even a debate.
And even if I'm not willing to call Michael Jordan the GOAT, which, if there's a gun to my head and I've got to pick, I'm rolling with MJ. But it's not close between him and LeBron. It's not a close second. It's not close at all.
No, it's really not, Dom. And
I don't think it's close between him and Kobe. But I also don't think it's close
not
between LeBron James and Tim Duncan. So, like, I have a very unpopular opinion. I don't think that LeBron James is better than Hakeem Olajuwon.
No, not
I don't think that
close.
LeBron James is better than Isaiah Thomas. So I have a big issue with a lot of the narratives that are out there right now. And I know that a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I'm okay with that, and we can agree to disagree, and we can talk about sports respectfully, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Dom. And let me just add on to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, LeBron, he's not even close to the people that you name. Like, off the top of my head, to my top 5, Michael, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Bird. That's my 5.
That's a really great 5. That's a really great 5. I'm not mad at it. That's not my 5, but it's a really great 5. And I'm proud of
then,
that 5.
like, now 6 through 10, Curry finally got the 10th spot. Mm-hmm. Curry got 10, But 6 through 9, I got Olajuwon, I got Tim Duncan, I got Shaq,
mm-hmm.
and I got Wilt. That's 9, and then I got Curry at 10. And every one of those people I named is better than LeBron. And for all the LeBron fans, let me ask y'all a question. At what point does losing matter? At what point does losing matter?
You know what?
I don't get it.
Let's make it a positive question. At what point does winning matter? Because people will literally tell you that championships don't matter, titles don't matter. And I mean, as we get further into the show, into the next topic, you'll see that, winning is something that's not even like a thought of the players or of the fans. So when players are not perpetuating a winning mindset and, that's not an actual goal of theirs, then how can fans even appreciate it? So I almost don't blame the generation for, what their mindset is when who they're looking to, right? And the examples that they have are just not winners.
Exactly. You're 100% right. But I know you want to get to the next topic. I'll definitely, call in for the next topic. And somebody just put in a comment, T-Bird, amen. Thank you. Appreciate the comment. All right, Dom, I'm going to let you go. Get to the next
All right,
topic.
T-Bird. Yeah, we're going to move to the next. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one. All right, guys. So, I mean, no one has been able to three-peat twice, but records are meant to be broken, right? We're seeing that happen right before our eyes, often, right? We just saw Ray Allen get passed up a few days ago, which brings me to my next topic, and that's James Harden. So, and let me start off with this. Congratulations, James Harden. You passed Ray Allen, second most three-pointers made in NBA history. Whoop-de-doo. Okay? James Harden is a serial loser and a con artist. I promise you, James Harden has already planned his exit speech for 2025 after he's eliminated from the playoffs. I promise you that James Harden has it all prepared. It will sound something like this. Guys were injured. Kawhi's in and out of the lineup. We just couldn't stay healthy. And, I show up to the NBA with a dad bod completely out of shape, but give me max dollars and trade me wherever I want to go because I'm a fat sack of molasses that prefers strip clubs and, partying and dates with little baby instead of winning titles and playing good basketball. So James Harden, he talks about how he feels and he reacts to passing up Ray Allen. And, I want to play that soundbite for you guys.
Unbelievable accomplishment, just testament to the amount of work that I've been putting in. As I get older and just, chip away at unbelievable career, start to accomplish things like that. So I don't never want to take it for granted. I just want to give motivation to the youth and every other person that's chasing a dream to play professional basketball or whatever it is. So it's an honor.
And then I don't know if you saw it, but KD had a message for you that the Clippers posted on their socials. It was just a little video that they put together of him. He had the first assist to your first three-point basket, and he just talked about how inspiring your career has been, the things that you've accomplished. Just when you think back on – he did actually, yeah. I'll take a look at it afterwards. But when you look back on coming in the league with him, Russ, and the fact that you guys all became MVPs and are still here doing it, just what comes to mind?
Longevity, man. Just, they set the blueprint. When I got there, they already had the blueprint of how to work, how to be a professional in this league. And so all I did was just fall right on line, you know what I mean? And to where it's like every single day you work your butt off, you listen to the coaches and figure out how to play well every single night. And those 3 years, really helped me in my NBA career because it just gave me a ground base to where I can go off of it from that point on. I was so comfortable and confident in myself. So when I got traded to Houston, I just knew I was going to be successful. You know what I mean? Because I learned how to work at a young age. So, shout out to KD, shout out to Russ, and the entire Oklahoma City organization for, that ground building that they gave me. I'm one of the most confident, guys that we have in this league. But now I probably won't get Steph. And I don't think anybody will, honestly, just because. And Steph started and he just, I don't know, man. He can shoot the shit out the ball. And granted, a lot of these guys are on that list for catch and shoot players, right? So they came off pin downs, they were spot shots or whatnot. Now in the game is evolved, guys like Steph is coming off pin downs, he's creating out isos, he's coming off pick and roll. So many different variables to be able to shoot the three and make shots and do it at an efficient high level. So somebody has to have an unbelievable career to shoot the ball well and make a lot of threes. And if it happens, it's going to be when we're not here anymore. So That'd be in there for a minute.
Oh man. James Harden, he is just a mess in my opinion. My gosh. He kept saying incredible career over and over and over again. I thought that that was such a joke. Incredible career? Really, James Harden, incredible career. Interesting. Very interesting. So James Harden's career was so incredible. He said that he knew that he was going to be a success. He just knew that he was going to be a success. How did you know that, James Harden? How? I'm really curious. How'd you know that you were going to be a success in Houston? You knew that you were going to be a success even though you didn't win anything. Isn't that really like, how was that a success? You didn't win. So that just goes to show you guys what players today think success is, how they measure it. They don't measure it by winning. And James Harden didn't have like a bad career with the Rockets. But to say that he had an incredibly successful career because he has the most three-point shots made, it's a little bit offensive, in my opinion. I think it's a joke to say something like that when you've never won anything. You didn't win with OKC, and yes, he was a six-man. Then he goes to the Rockets. He doesn't win. He had a great team there. Chris Paul. So how many pieces did he need? He almost beat the Warriors, right? But it didn't happen. And we know what happened in that closeout game. What typically happens to James Harden in closeout games. He goes to the Nets. He quits on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and leaves. Breaks up that trio that could have been really good. I'm not going to say it was all his fault. Then he goes to Philadelphia, okay, a team that he supposedly wanted to go to play with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. How do you mess that chicken up? How do you fumble that bag? Make it make sense. Why did he quit on that team? You want to blame it on Daryl Morey? Daryl Morey didn't want to pay you? For what? What are we paying you for? James Harden planned his exit speech that year before he even got there. He planned to be a failure with Joel Embiid. That postseason was one of the most disgusting playoff performances that I've ever seen from Joel Embiid and James Harden. They were both a complete no-show, turning the ball over with abandon, playing like pure shit. They should both be ashamed of themselves for that series, but James Harden in particular, because he just never has anything to prove. He never has a moment where he's locked in and ready to win. That's never James Harden. He's a disappointment. The audacity. You've quit on every team that you've played for. He said no one will break his record. So you mean to tell me that a guy who shows up looking crazy as hell to the NBA is going to hold a record for a long time in a metric that everyone is playing towards? Anthony Edwards could beat it. Luka Doncic can probably beat it. For Harden to shout out longevity is disgusting to me. He should never compare himself to LeBron James. Never. Someone who actually takes care of their body, someone who comes and shows up to the NBA looking like an NBA player. James Harden looks like a dad bod. Doesn't look like an NBA player. He doesn't look like he belongs on anybody's team. He's not the picture of longevity. Don't you dare, James Harden. You are the picture of someone who shouldn't have a job and should be out of the league. I am disgusted with James Harden in this record. He is not a better shooter than Ray Allen. I would never give him the ball. I would never give him the ball when I need to win. I'm going to give the ball to Ray Allen, someone with 2 titles, a proven winner, I'm not giving the ball to a guy who prefers to be on dates with little baby and strip clubs instead of finding ways to win. James Harden is so disappointing to me. How many great teams has he been on? And he's had nothing but excuses. He's one of the most excuse-driven players I've ever watched. He's one of the biggest scammers in NBA history. He'll be stealing money for years to come because that longevity speech was just about that. It was just about him campaigning for bigger contracts in the years to come. But what do you guys think? Is Harden a better shooter than Ray Allen? Without Adam Silver allowing James Harden to travel, I don't think he would have reached I don't think that he would have reached this record if Adam Silver wasn't allowing him to travel with the ball. I don't think that he would have reached top 20 in 3-pointers made if Adam Silver wasn't allowing him to travel with the ball. The NBA is just doing a really bad job right now. They're doing real bad. When James Harden, a serial loser, is able to climb past Ray Allen, all because the NBA allows traveling, because they think that that will make the game more exciting to watch. Yet no one's fucking watching. Isn't that interesting? But this conversation, it brings us to our last topic of the evening. And that's NBA viewership. This has been a trending topic for a while now. And the entire sports world has weighed in on it. The most interesting fact about this is that the NBA is losing to the WNBA. Isn't that rich? That's so funny to me. Rachel Demita, she reported this on her channel, and I have to steal it because it's just hilarious. So I want to show you guys something. So as you can see here, it was tweeted by NBA Central. Viewership in the NBA has been declining. This is per Awful announcing. ESPN's opening doubleheader averaged 1.6 million viewers, down 42% from 2023's debut with Victor Wembanyama. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because Bronny James is headlining the rookies this year. I wonder if it's because Bronny James is getting all the glory and he stinks. Bucks versus the 76ers, 1.71 million viewers, down from 2.55 million for Celtics versus Knicks in 2023. Sun versus Clippers, 1.52 million, down 49% from last year's comparable game. TNT's Thursday game, Spurs versus Mavericks, 1.45 million viewers, a 29% decrease from the previous year's comparable game. ESPN Friday's game, Pacers versus Knicks, 830,000 viewers, fewer than a college football game on ESPN2. Sounds pretty pathetic for the NBA, for a league that, has seen millions and millions of viewers. 30 years ago, people were watching, when Michael Jordan played, the GOAT, when he played, people were watching. And then there was another fun fact from Robin Lundberg. I don't know who the hell he is, but maybe he's a Clark fan. I don't know. But Demita, she reported this on her channel, Rachel Demita. And I thought this was an interesting thing that Caitlin Clark's debut had 2.1 million viewers on ESPN2. We now live in a world where the WNBA can compete with the NBA in viewership, which is crazy. And so now when people say that nobody's watching the WNBA, why should they get paid? I think that's going to start a different conversation, right? And I know that they're still not bringing in the revenue dollars that the NBA does. And I'm not saying that they should get paid the same amount as the NBA players do. I just think it's really interesting that nobody's watching. And there's there's been a lot of chatter around why nobody's watching and what is causing the NBA ratings decline. And I think that it's a really interesting conversation for us to have. All these NBA casual fans, they kept saying that no one's watching the W. But now it seems that nobody's actually watching the NBA. That is what the truth is that nobody's actually watching the NBA. Okay. And what's interesting, what's even more interesting, right, is that when Michael Jordan was playing, this would never be the case. In fact, his Last Dance documentary averaged more viewers than the NBA Finals did that year. You would think people would watch since everyone was home. But I guess I thought wrong. But I want to show you the chatter from Shaq and Adam Silver's response. I'll read it to you guys for those who can't see the screen. But yeah, here we go. So Adam Silver, he slams Shaquille O'Neal over his NBA ratings criticism, but this is what Shaq had to say in the first place. So he says it's down because we're looking. Oh, you guys can hear me now. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. So I guess you didn't hear me read Adam Silver's response. Did you guys see it on the screen? I'll read it just for those who didn't hear it. Okay, so Shaq winds up saying it's down now, the ratings he's talking about, and it's because we're looking at the same thing. Everybody's running the same plays. Steph Curry and those guys messed it up. I don't mind Golden State back in the day shooting threes, but every team isn't a three-point shooter. So why does everyone have the same strategy? I think it makes the game boring. Then Adam Silver responds and he says, I respect his opinion. I think that we pay a lot of attention to what we see in our game. Sometimes there's more appreciation for a 12-foot jump shot than a 30-foot jump shot. When Shaq played, it was the exact opposite, with critics complaining. There's not enough variation in your game. It's all about dunking. So he then continues to say, today, people say it's all about these highly skilled shooters. We've moved the three-point line before back a little to make three-point shooting more difficult. We could do that again. I'm not saying that's on the table. This is a good opportunity this season, and we're about to enter into 3 11-year television deals. to step back and study the game a bit. Our game has never been more popular, he added. Okay. Well, let's react to this because I think this is a really interesting conversation. I thought that it was, in poor taste for Adam Silver to clap back at Shaq. And I thought as soon as he said, I respect his opinion, I knew that disrespect was coming. And quite frankly, for what Shaq said, it's 100% right. And my biggest takeaway from what he said and what I got out of it was that we are watching the same thing. We don't see identities in teams anymore. We don't see that. We don't see an identity in a team. What they stand for. You know that when you played certain teams that, okay, they were standing for their defense. You knew that when you played certain teams that you were going to have to defend the perimeter, differently. But it's almost as if teams don't stand for anything anymore. The entire league just stands for uncontested threes and layup lines. It's simple. And quite frankly, I feel very disappointed in Adam Silver trying to clap back at Shaq Diesel. Adam Silver, he's responsible for the shenanigans in the NBA. He is to blame. And everyone wants to blame LeBron and players that perpetuate the standard today. And there's blame to go around, trust me. But Adam Silver is accountable. We can always take a look at the actions of the players, the coaches, the owners. But ultimately, Adam Silver is responsible for the performance and the product of the NBA. And he is accountable. Not Nike, not the players, not anyone else but Adam Silver. Of course, these other parties are complicit. And like I said, there's blame to go around for everyone. But he's the one that came up with that dumbass in-season tournament that no one will watch. He is the one that creates gimmicks to make players perform and want to play more games. If it's not their goddamn paycheck and their love for the game that makes guys want to play, then what the hell is it? Neither their paycheck or love for the sport is making guys want to compete. The only player I hear talking about competing is the lowest skilled one, and that's Giannis, Greek freak, a guy who travels and carries his way down the court and into the paint. The NBA is a pathetic disgrace. And I want to play a soundbite for you guys from Gil's Arena. They discuss why they think that the NBA ratings are low. And I want you guys to hear this.
NBA secured an 11-year, $77 billion TV rights deal before this season, but is facing a serious issue as NBA viewership is on the decline. So on a recent episode of his big podcast, Shaq offered these thoughts on why NBA viewership might be down.
I think everybody's looking at the same thing. And Steph Curry and those guys messed it up. Like, I don't mind Golden State back in the day shooting threes, but every team's not a three-point shooter. So why everybody has the same strategy? I think viewership will continue to go down unless we switch things back up.
So, Gil, you made a similar assessment in the past on this very program, Gil's Arena, presented by Underdog. Woof woof.
I made a statement that says every team shouldn't be shooting that many threes because every team don't have Steph Curry, Clay, and KD on their team. Yeah. You don't have nothing close to number 1, 2, and 4, 5. You don't have that to be taking the same many shots as them.
So to Shaq's point, so far this season, the league averages 37.2 three-point attempts per game, which would be a record. Celtics are currently leading the league with close to 51 of their 90 shot attempts per game coming from beyond the arc. There are 7 teams averaging more than 43-point attempts per game, and every team in the league is taking at least 31 threes per game.
Does Lakers read last?
We are not last. I believe the Pelicans were last, but nonetheless.
But that's not the reason the viewership is down.
So there are a lot of factors contributing to the NBA's viewership issues. Among them, star players missing a lot of games. because
hard
of
to watch
injury.
games. It's
And-
expensive to watch these games.
There you go.
There you go.
It's expensive to watch games now. It used to be free.
You spending a lot.
Like,
You know how much League Pass costs?
like League Pass, and you don't even get all the games.
You don't even get the games in your own city.
You don't get the Laker game.
Yeah, you don't even get your own teams in your city's games on League Pass.
Like the reason that is
Get you some cable.
No, that now makes you buy cable too. So you got to buy cable for your own teams, and then you got to buy League Pass to get the League Pass stuff. So what ends up happening is the distribution of games now, and they're harder to find.
For sure.
Yeah, and also you got viewing habits shifting to more short form
it's hard
clips.
to find things to watch, and viewership is down.
Let's be real. I ain't no snitch.
It sounds like the W, right?
I ain't no snitch, but if you want to watch games, there are avenues and ways on the internet always where you don't have to pay to watch games.
Yeah,
but you don't. So y'all making us do that, league. So that's really your problem because you're making us have to find ulterior situations.
That's what I had to do when I was overseas.
Because we're gonna find it, and we're gonna find it for free.
No, but that's the problem. We gotta. That's the problem.
VPN
We
and
have to
everything.
find it. It used to be available.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I was trying to watch my daughter play.
I know.
Right? Yeah. And I'm like, now I gotta get Disney, ESPN Plus, and like now I got another motherfucking channel to get. I thought I already had this, but now it's on ESPN. Now you got to get this, but like they're just making it harder.
You did text me that day, and I had to go on a hunt to figure out.
Okay, guys. I call cap. Big cap. I have to. And I do, before I even get into my take, I want to address Opinion Stated. Guys, go follow and subscribe to Opinion Stated's channel. They are dropping amazing content. The way that he covers the sport is really incredible, and he has a lot of really great things to say. So if you support Sports Tea, please go and support Opinion Stated as well. But yes, I agree with you. Silver is wrong. No one complained that the game was ever all about dunking. There was more variation in yesteryear's league. It's just the truth. Yeah, he's crazy. Nobody complained about dunking. Nobody ever complained about that. But yes, I do call cap to Gilbert Arenas and what they're saying. The NFL is streamed across multiple platforms. And guess what? NFL viewership and ratings only increase year over year. I think last year it took a slight dip. I think we are talking about 126 million to 123 million. But people are watching football. Football brings families and people all over the country together, whereas basketball divides and no one is watching it. The product is terrible. People they're not saying this era is bad for their health. Bring back the best era of basketball. Adam Silver, bring it back. Do something. You're responsible. Accountability and responsibility is in your hands, Adam Silver. Sink or swim. Don't tell us that the NBA is more popular than ever because you're lining your pockets. Make the NBA great again. Get it done. Stop the excuses. Stop telling us that fame and fortune replaces talent and real athletic performance. Stop the circus. Stop the circus. Stop the reality show that's happening in the NBA. Bronny James is the worst player in the NBA. Stop featuring him everywhere. Stop advertising father and son duo. It's horrible. It's ruining the integrity of the league. It's ruining the competitive spirit of the sport. Fix it, Adam Silver. Figure it out and fix it. Okay, let's read some comments. I want to know what you guys think. What's causing the NBA ratings decline? What do you guys think it is? Great comments, great engagement. Hey, T-Bert, talk to me nice.
Hey, what's up, Dom? All right. The
What do you think is
NBA,
causing it?
the NBA viewership. Let me start with Gilbert Arenas. Like, Gilbert Arenas is such a moron, and I don't know who payroll he's on, but something just ain't right with him a lot of times on his takes. Yeah, what he said, he has a small point. Like, all right, the games are all over the place, whatever. That might be 5% of viewership down. Address the elephant in the room. The game, the product is horrible. It's unwatchable. And the inmates have taken over the asylum. And that's the problem. Like, that's the problem. If you look at the viewership, right? If you look at the Bulls, their second run, the viewership, they were averaging over 25 million viewers per game. Now, this is in the late 90s, right? Now, let's fast forward till today. So if you look at last year's viewership, they're at 11 million, another 11 million, 10 million, and 13 million. How did the 90s almost double and a half viewership?
I know.
It's because the game is not watchable. Just look at the stats. Look, the numbers are there for anyone to look up. They're barely getting double-digit millions, where the Bulls and whoever was in the late 90s was in the championship, they were getting 25 to 32 million viewers back then. The game, there's no defense at all. You ever watch their defense, Dom? All they do is put one hand straight up in the air. They don't jump.
I know.
There's
you know who
nothing.
I actually like watching, and he's on the Lakers. I actually like Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect be balling.
I like how he plays. I like how he defends. He used both of his arms. Like, to see a guy throw his two arms up the way that he does for thing. I really like him. I like his game. He hustles. He has grit.
Yes.
And I like seeing players like that. And yeah.
Most of the NBA, they give 10% effort on defense. And if you ever really analytically break down the game, look at the defenders defending on a three-point shot. They are below the three-point line. If you played any type of organized basketball, your coach, they have told you over and over again, you would get yanked out the game. If a team has good three-point shooters, you defend them above the three-point line. Today's NBA defenders, they defend the three-point shot below the NBA line. It's like there's a imaginary brick wall where they can't cross above the three-point line. So the game is just deplorable. It's so hard to watch. I can't stand it. And let me just address this. Yeah, so they're sitting up there capping and lying. The truth of the matter is, if you are a true fan and you are in love with the sport, you will go and find the games wherever they are. If you look at the Olympics, other countries, some of the games be on at 4 a.m. People set their alarms, they wake up, they go find the daggone games. The WNBA games, like, look at their viewership. It's 10 times up. But the WNBA is doing, I think, a poor job of putting all the games on one or two networks. They're all over. But why is their viewership way up? And they're on all different platforms. No, Adam Silver, your game, your product is horrible. It's just that simple.
It really is that simple. What do you think about James Harden? Do you think that he's a better shooter than Ray Allen?
What a joke. No, not even close. So this is a perfect segue. I'm glad we started backwards from the viewership right to Harden. No, he's not a better shooter than Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and all of them guys. No, it's like they have their achievements. They count, but in my opinion, they don't count. It's like remember when the NBA and ABA, they merged, they didn't carry over the ABA stats. If you look them up, it's an asterisk next to them and everything. I feel like today's Steph Curry era, their stats should be on another platform. It should not be on the same stats of the real when the NBA was really, taking off. Because no, I'm not trying to take nothing away from the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're doing a great job. I think they're 12, 13, 14, 15, or whatever they are, right? And they're doing a great job. The point guard from Sacramento, he just broke a record. 3 games, he scored 1 million points. All right, kudos to him. But it really don't count to me. He scored 1 million points in 3 games because there's no defense. There's no defense. So all these stats and all these records that are being broke, yeah, I guess it's going to go in the history books, but it don't count because no one is playing defense. So why? You want to know why the viewership is going down? That's why. James Harden, he's talking about, he had a great career or something like that. What did he say now?
Yeah, he kept saying that he had an incredibly successful career.
Okay, let me break that down.
And that, he even went on to say, and I thought what that was, really crazy was that he said that basically nobody was going to break his 3-point record in our lifetime. We won't be here anymore.
As long as the NBA keeps going with no defense, and it's every year the players in the NBA, their goal is to play less defense than they did the year before. That record will get shattered. And let's talk about him having a successful career. All right, he got a good career in the NBA, but just think about it. He has a job, right? And within his occupation, he only performs 50% of what the occupation requires. The occupation requires offense and defense. He does 50%. He's going to be the type that when he retires, you can truly say he never gave it all. He cheated the game. He didn't leave it out on the court. So, I mean, I don't know what jobs, 9-to-5 jobs you can go, and they hire you and you just do half of your work, right? And the half that you do is really, really good. But the other half, I'm not interested in. And that will be considered a successful career. I'm confused. What are we doing here? No, he didn't give it all. He didn't give it his all. So I don't consider him having a successful career in the NBA. I consider that, hey, he had a lot of good and great moments, and he took advantage of. You're able to carry the ball. You're able to take 4 steps without it being called a walk. He absolutely took the rule book. He changed it and he manipulated it to his benefit. So, all right, call him a genius for that. But okay, his career, when I look back, it would just be, whatever. That's just me, though.
I mean, when you watch him, I don't know. You want to know what I remember James Harden for? I remember my most memorable moment of James Harden is watching him get clotheslined by Ron Artest. That's my greatest memory of James Harden, nothing else.
That's not mine. Let me tell you what mine is.
Go ahead.
Mine is totally different. It wasn't the James Harden on the NBA court. My greatest moment of James Harden is when him and Kobe went head to head in that high school gym. And Kobe was playing great D. James Harden was playing phenomenal D on Kobe. And Kobe hit the game-winning 3 in his face, and the gym went crazy. That was my greatest memory of James Harden, because that's the one and only time I saw him give 100% on offense and defense. And you never seen it again, and you won't see it. You never seen it in the NBA. So my greatest moment of him is not in an NBA game. It's in a high school gym, and Kobe Bryant hit the dagger to win the game. That's my memory.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it's a really good memory. And, there was a time when James Harden was in shape and he did play defense, and he doesn't anymore. So.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big. He's in the softest era of all time. They're taking advantage of all the. There's no rules in the NBA.
He's in the dad bod era. Let's be for real.
Oh, he got your boy beat. What's your boy name? Luka. he got Luka beat.
For
You know,
sure.
James Harden looked like one of the clumps.
He really
That's what he looked like.
does. He does look like he's a part of that family. And I don't even know. I think it's criminal that he's allowed to play.
You know what, Dom? I'm gonna say this. The only way for the commissioner, well, it has to be the future commissioner because this guy, Adam Silver, isn't it? The future commissioner, to get the game back to where it needs to belong, you have to get rid of those $100 million contracts. These players need to be on play, like you play whatever your performance is. You get paid off of your performance, and if your performance sucks, you don't get paid well. Like the NBA has to take their product back. You know, I'm all for player empowerment, but they are getting $200-300 million contracts. They are one-way players, and they don't want to play back-to-backs. They want to load manage. They don't want to play no defense. They just want to focus on offense. And as a result, look what happened, Dom. They went to the Olympics, and they looked absolutely horrendous because, you know why? They don't know how to play defense. They have no idea how to play defense, and they look bad. So the NBA is going to continue to have this viewership problem until they take the asylum back from the inmates, period.
Why do you think that the NFL does so well with viewership, even though they have the same streaming services as the NBA?
Because their product, if you go back and look at the NFL in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the product stayed the same. Only thing they changed was
can't touch the
safety mechanisms.
You also can't
safety,
touch, you also can't touch the quarterback. So NFL changed too.
Well, the NFL now has changed over the last 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their product stays great, I think, for one reason only, Dom. The product stayed the same, but it's only 16 or 18 games. So each one of their games are priceless. And I think that's why their product stays, like, really, the viewership stays the same. And they do a great job at marketing. Here's the key, Dom. The NFL markets the correct players. Our NBA game, you know who we're marketing? Bronny James. You know who we not marketing? What's the guy named? Oliveri that Bronny stole his bag from. So the NBA markets the wrong people. The NFL markets the correct people. The NFL, and look at their contracts. The contracts are totally different too. So these guys, if you look at Antonio Brown, one of his outbursts that he had when he took his jersey off and all that, his contract was incentive laced. He had to catch X amount of balls to get X amount of dollars and receptions and everything, right? They're not just guaranteeing the NFL players $300 million. They need to have the NBA players have incentives in their contracts to make those hundreds of millions. Until they do, this game sucks. And most of the guys in the NBA, once they get that bag, they don't care. They made it. What can you do to them? What can you tell them?
There really is nothing that you can do. And I mean, Adam Silver, he's making the NBA money. So that's all that they care about. As long as it's profitable, that's all that matters to them. But I just wonder at what point does Adam, so like, that's all he wants his legacy to be, was that he made the NBA money?
You know what? It seems like he's more of he's a player pleaser, because honestly, he kept acquiescing to Draymond Green, and he probably should have been out of the league with all his antics. So, and then here's something else you got to look at, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, right, there was only a handful of like non-American players, like the European players, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, they were extremely talented, the ones that could make the league, right? But it wasn't, they didn't dominate the league. if you look at the last 3 or 4 years, or even this year, our top 3 players and our top MVPs are all overseas players. They're foreigners. Why is that? The reason why the foreigners really couldn't come over in the 90s and just have like 70, 80, 90 foreign players, because the defense was very physical, right? You had to have top of the line talent. Now there's no defense, so we're going to have a super huge influx of foreign players, because when there's no defense, they can come in. The reason they couldn't come in before, because they're not athletes. They're not athletic. But when you take away there's no defense, you don't have to be athletic. So they neutralize the athleticism basically with the no defense. So now the European players can come and get MVP after MVP after MVP.
Yeah,
This is a product of a watered down game.
It's watered down, but it's also an effort to have some level of like affirmative action, so that the NBA, becomes this more global sport, by including everyone. Okay. And when you think about it, right, take a look at who's the best player of this era, Steph Curry. He's somebody that is showing people that anybody can play this game. That's what it looks like when you see someone who's like 6 feet tall, shooting all these threes, cutting through all these defenders, having these godlike performances in the Olympics. Like Steph Curry is, he's, to me, the sports hero of this era. But he's an everyman. How many guys do you know that are his size?
Right.
And then you take a look at the Europeans, the foreign players who have come into this league that they might not have made it back in the early 2000s, when you needed extreme amount of athleticism to play in the league. Now you just don't. You look at Jokic. He also has like a dad bod. He's like all flabby, no muscle, can't run or jump. You don't need that. And so, even Adam Silver is perpetuating that narrative of highly skilled players. How can you be highly skilled when you have no athleticism? It has to be a package. You have to be the whole thing. So,
right. I agree.
Thanks so much for your call, T-Bert. You're awesome, and really great chatting with you. It always is.
All right. You make sure you get better, and shout out to everybody in the chat. And make sure y'all hit the subscribe and like button. And don't forget, Dom is really under the weather tonight, guys. And she still took her time out to give us this great content. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat, too. Thank you, Dom. You have a great day. Get better.
You too, T-Bert. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. I'm going to read some super chats. I want to get to that. Let's see. We have one from Lou. Thank you so much, Lou. Great job, Dom. I really appreciate you for saying that. Really nice of you to do that. Let's see. Then we have Nino. Skip and Stephen A is the reason. I can hear that. Totally. I'm with you. I think that Skip and Stephen A, they definitely changed the landscape of sports media. And I don't know if they did for the better or for the worse. So, yeah, I would say that more people, I would say that there's so much more engagement in talking about sports. But again, it's just the climate right now, especially for basketball, it's an interesting one, right? So I do want to thank everybody for watching and hanging out with me late. I have, one more phone call that I want to make. I'm actually going to call someone back, but I don't normally do that. But I do want to make sure that I call someone back. They've been trying to call multiple shows and they haven't been able to get in. So let's see if they answer. Hey, Mark, is that you?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Hey, Mark.
I am so sorry I called while you was in the middle of your cook session. Please forgive me.
I
Oh,
was trying
it's
to get to the.
okay. I know you were just
I was
trying to
trying.
get through. Don't worry about it, but I'm glad that I got you back. So, what do you think about tonight's show? Which topic were you calling in? I think it was James Harden, right?
Yes, ma'am. And not only that, I want to give a shout out to T-Bird, man. That dude is on fire whenever he calls in. I would love to have a roast session with him.
I love T-Bird. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's just I want to call him the Philly Shell because his defense is always on point. But with that being said, I don't even see why we even discussing the fact that James Harden is on any type of level like Ray Allen. Ray Allen can give it to you in so many different ways. And the one thing that he's done from his rookie season, even playing with Boston and somewhat with his final years with Miami, he played defense. He used to go nose to nose with Michael Jordan as a rookie, and Jordan would still give him 40, but he would tell him, "You're doing a good job on defense." Ray Allen could pull up at the top of the key. He could ball handle. He don't need to take 9 steps backwards just to get his shot off.
Mm-hmm.
He can dunk on you. He had a good mid range. He can knock it down at the free throw line. I remember watching that playoff series, Philadelphia and Milwaukee, where he went off the 8 threes, and they had Milwaukee hyped. And for a brief moment, you thought Milwaukee was going to go to the finals, but it didn't work out. Ray Allen is one of my favorite players, and to compare him to James Harden is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Even though
I got Ray Allen top 5 shooting guard all time.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. I'll probably go up 1 or 2 spots depending on who's there. But yeah, Ray Allen wasn't called Jesus Shuttlesworth just because the movie He Got Game. The dude actually had game.
I know. I love
just because you make it a whole bunch of threes because you're a volume shooter. We used to talk about this on Ticket Stream all the time. A dude named James Hayes said if he gave Reggie Miller and Ray Allen carte blanche to take 10, 12, 15 threes a game, they'd have put the record out of reach. Think about Reggie Miller, whose career three-point percentage is right slightly a tick of below 40%. And he shot at the most 5-6 a game. If you double that to 12, look, Steph will still be trying to chase that three-point record right now. But the game was not played that way. The game was played inside out. But this league, to go along with the reason why the ratings are down, it's just outside. Look, I love White Castles. I don't like Crystals. Why? Because it's a copycat version of White Castles, and it don't taste as good. So I don't get Crystals. It's the same with the league. Yeah, Golden State was good, but what made the NBA something that you really wanted to watch was the versatility in the teams. Not everybody played the same. Not everybody had a Shaq with Orlando, so you couldn't play like Orlando. Not everybody had a Jordan and a Pippen, so you couldn't play like Chicago. People tried to build a team to beat Chicago, a la the Knicks and the Miami Heat, and and the versatility is what made the NBA. The storylines wrote themselves. Remember when Marv Albert used to have a storyline before any NBA or NBC game? It was beautiful, setting it up where you're invested in the win or the loss of the game that you're getting ready to watch. It was great theater. And, shout out to those New York teams. They didn't have enough. Some could argue they wasn't as mentally strong enough than the Chicago Bulls, but you still rooted for them anyway.
I don't think that they were, but think about it. They're still way more mentally tough than any guys that play today.
Yeah, you should not utter James Harden's name with anybody from the 90s. At all. You should, this era, and I agree with you 1,000,000,000%, this era has an asterisk by it. It's its own era. It's not the era. I don't break my neck on a Friday night to go out there and watch some game because I'm just going to watch 2 Golden State type teams play that way and That's not how I play basketball. I don't just sit at the damn 3-point line.
They're wannabe
Right.
teams, right? Because not everybody can shoot like Steph Curry. So why do you want to be playing like that? You're wannabes out there, and it's like develop your own, your own style, your own team identity. Stand for something. Give your fans and the city that you play for something to be proud of.
But I think you just hit on something that's very, very important. People don't know how to develop their own identity. And why do I say that? Look at even the movies and music. Look, you got remakes of movies back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Like, dude, I've already seen this before. I don't want to see a bastardized version of it now. I already know. Like, the Color Purple remake, the first one stood on its own. We don't need a remake of a classic movie.
I'm
Can we come up with an original idea and maybe I will spend my money on it or maybe I will spend my time on it? One of my favorite games of all time. And it literally had me having goosebumps while I'm watching the game was the Sacramento Kings and the LA Lakers Eastern Conference Finals. That was thrilling basketball. Another game, 1997, December 1997, the Lakers go into Chicago and beating the hell out of Chicago by 27 points at halftime. And the Bulls came roaring back with what? Michael, Pippen, Randy Brown, and Tony Kukoc was playing full court defense on that young nucleus to show them how they got back in that game. Nick Van Exel was on fire. Nick Van Exel was one of my favorite players. He was on fire. Him and Shaq was dominating that game. But the game swung when they put their feet in the dirt and they started to play defense. And it went to overtime, and then Rodman had the big defensive rebound and ended up knocking down 2 free throws, even though he's a poor free throw shooter. It was almost a fight that broke out. It was a great game. It literally sent you on a roller coaster ride from downs to ups to downs to ups. We miss that. We want people to compete. We want people to give a damn. Nobody was just sitting out there just launching 3 after 3 after 3. And if you hit 6 or 15 threes and you sitting up here doing the ice in the veins dance, like, dude, you missed 11. If I missed 11 regular shots, my ass is on the bench looking at my coach like, when am I going to get back in? As he's giving me the slow head nod. Like, not today, son. There's no accountability. Playoff games are either blowouts or close losses.
You're right.
Who wants to watch something that you already really know that what's going to happen? Who wants to watch this in-season tournament horse shit when you already know that the Lakers are going to get the best whistle and they're going to get put up against the weakest team so they can go to the... Nobody gives a shit about that. You know what I care about? The 1 through 8. I don't care about the 1 through 12. What is the 1 through 8 doing? Are you good enough to make the 8 seed? I think it was 2010, 2011, where you had to win at least 51 games just to make the 8 seed. So every game meant something. You couldn't drop a game. You couldn't load manage, or that was your ass at the end of the season. That one game that you lost to the Grizzlies back when they wasn't good, when you lost to the Grizzlies in April, bit you down the road. You have people strapping it up. Yeah, I got a thigh bruise, but we can't give this game up. Let's go. Strap it up. Let's see what you're made of. Because it's easy to play ball when everything is going right. The reason why it's an endurance season is, guess what? When things start going wrong, what type of player you are. Which brings me back to James Harden. We seen him shit his own britches when things got hard, and then he has a 1 for 16 game in the playoffs.
Every time. I can almost count on him being a loser. So...
You put more effort in going to the strip club after a damn 30-point loss than you do in actually getting yourself ready to know that the defense in the playoffs is going to know you're going to want to do the step back 3. So what do? They chase you off that damn 3-point line. Shouts out to T-Bird. He was always told, chase their ass off the 3-point line. Make them take a contested 2 will live with the results, but they're not going to sit out there, camp at the 3-point line to jack it up. You're going to make them do something different. That's called coaching. That's actually called basketball. Somebody's hot, send a double team. Make somebody else beat them. If we know he's going to dance in the lane, make him take a pull-up. Make him take a free throw line pull-up. We're not going to give him what he wants. We're not going to do what he wants. Isn't this the same James Harden that didn't show up in the 2012 finals, but he had a good career? Isn't this the same James Harden that shot 0 for my lifetime against the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard Spurs? Isn't this the same James Harden that, was on his period in Brooklyn and didn't want to play anymore? Isn't this the same James Harden that it's all about the money, the fame, the strip clubs, the drip, the women, but not the game?
Exactly.
You wanted to go to Philly. You went to Philly. You cost Doc Rivers. Well, actually, Doc Rivers cost himself his own damn job, but he helped Doc Rivers get the hell out of Philly because he relied on him. You have a whole Joel Embiid that you did not want to feed down in the post when he had mismatches, but you had to take your triple step back three and brick it up, and then you're mad when they don't want to resign you. You had a good career based on whose perception did you have a good career? Because I look at James Harden like Isaiah Ryder. He's the type of person that his own trials and tribulations not made him a Hall of Famer. And J.R. Ryder had game. He just kept fucking up. Messing up.
Yeah.
His attitude was piss poor.
I know.
And teams got tired of it. And James Harden is he'll be a Hall of.
Now you're like rewarded for a bad attitude unless you're Kyrie Irving.
Dude, I remember when Isaiah Ryder got thrown off the Blazers, got thrown off the Atlanta Hawks. Then he was with Shaq and Kobe for one season. Phil Jackson was like, "Nope, I'm good." It's like, yeah, you got all the talent in the world, but if you're a team captain, we can't win with you. They went out and got Mitch Richmond. He sat on the damn bench and got a ring, doing anything he could for Phil Jackson. And he deserved that ring. I wish he would have got it legitimately, but Mitch Richmond deserved that ring. James Harden's going to make it to the Hall of Fame based off of numbers, but not based off of a good career.
Yep. I'm with you, Mark.
He got to pick and choose he got to pick and choose where he wanted to go. He talked all that shit about Giannis, but the one thing that Giannis has over him, he don't got the skill, but the one thing he has is the hustle and the heart. And yes, I agree, he doesn't develop his game, but I can give him a little bit of leadway when he goes out there and hustles.
Yeah, it's a mentality. I respect Giannis. I respect him, even though I don't care for his actual game. But Harden, he's just this serial loser, and it's not going to change. It's because of the mentality. It's because of the idea that winning is not important. And yeah, I can't get jiggy with that. Not at all.
I need you to trademark that serial loser because I'm going to have to get a t-shirt, rock that because I love it because there are so many serial losers out here that run their mouth and has never backed it up just because you made millions.
Mark, can you actually imagine, though, picking your team throughout your entire career and you never win? You have every situation you want. You're able to pick and choose. You don't just get up and traded. Like, look, the way that Dame Dollar got traded to Milwaukee, I blame him for that because of all the chatter that he, was putting out there publicly about wanting to go to Miami. But when you pick your team, I feel like there should be more pressure on you to win. James Harden doesn't have any 100%. He plans his exit speeches more than he gets ready for the season. And it's pathetic. And that's what makes him a serial loser.
And I give you credit for that, but also say this, and I know people ain't gonna like me saying this, but who cares? This is some of the reasons why people who don't like LeBron because after after Cleveland, the first stint, he chose to take the easy way out, and people that were diehard fans of him never forgave him. Now, look, I remember Shannon Sharp sitting up there saying Cleveland would never be a great team once LeBron leaves. Okay, LeBron is supposed to be the quote unquote greatest player of all time. Why didn't he never start a season 15-0? Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you take a look at LeBron James, for me, that's just one of the reasons why he's not the GOAT, can never be the GOAT, is because you picked all of your teams. He didn't just pick his teams, he picked his coaches, he picked his teammates. So when you're orchestrating that much, you'd better win, and you'd better win more than 40%, of your finals. So that is, to me, that's why he'll never be the GOAT. And yeah, I mean, you can't pick so much and still lose. That's an issue. So,
and you bring your son into the league with a silver spoon in his mouth, and the dude can't play.
And he just can't live up to any of what LeBron said. So forget the media hype. At least just live up to what you're saying that you're going to do. So that's where it becomes problematic for LeBron and players today. They duck the fade. They don't want real competition. They don't want real pressure. They don't want to live up to anything that they say they're going to do. Forget prior generations and previous greats. Just at least come out here and do what you say you're going to do. That is that's the basic thing that I'm asking for, and they can't even do that. So thank you so much for your call tonight, Mark. I really appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next one.
Can you please do me a favor, because I'm at work right now? Mm-hmm. Can you send me the link so I can bless your channel with a what the hell is that called? PayPal or
I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it.
Thank you so much, and keep doing the Lord's work. We need more people like you. Even my wife says she loves how you cook on these topics. So you got her subscribed. And she's not even a sports fan, but she literally sat up there in my face and subscribed to your channel. I thought that says a lot. That says a lot.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy, and it means a lot to me. So tell her I said thank you so much, and you have a wonderful rest of your night, okay? So if it's early for you, if it's late for you, thank you so much. And please, call again. This call was really excellent, and everybody loved it. So you have the comment section on fire. So thank you so much, Mark, and please have a good night, okay?
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. Oh my gosh. So that's the end of the show tonight. I'm going to close out. I'll read some more comments, and then, we'll end the live. Opinion stated. Thanks for hanging out with me all night. We have Young Disciple here. You're making my point. Everybody picks their own team. Okay. I don't know. See, I was kind of raised a certain way. So I liked my dad's team or my hometown. And those were kind of the rules, growing up. You were either a fan of where you grew up, your hometown, or, your father figure or your dad, whoever your dad liked, or you were kind of raised to like. That's just who you were a fan of. And that's a team that you stuck with. So you don't get to pick a bunch of teams and jump around. If you changed your team, that was blasphemous. You didn't do that. You can't change your team. You had to pick a team and stay there. So that's kind of how I was raised. And that's, that's the sports culture that I grew up knowing. It wasn't player focused like it is today. What else do we have here? Thank you guys for these compliments. LeBron is the superstar who does less with more. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I've never seen anything like it. LeBron made all these moves. Meanwhile, Warriors had Durant amongst other moves. I don't know what that means. LeBrick is uncoachable and doesn't have the integrity or resilience to work on his game. He's not even top 15. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough for me to rank players of today. I want to rank them against each other. it's hard for me to rank LeBrons and players today against guys who played in a much more physical league that had combined skill and athleticism. It's really tough. But guys, I really appreciate you all so much for watching with me. I know it was really late. I know I was late, but thank you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, share it wherever you can. That will continue to help the channel to grow. And yeah, I mean, I love hanging out with you guys, talking about sports. These are some of the most meaningful conversations that I have surrounding basketball and the game that I love. So thank you so much. And again, like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next live. Have a good evening or morning for some of you. And thanks so much for watching. Alrighty. Bye-bye.